Hi guys! Okay, so I'm here with Shane Ortega. I am just so inspired by the story of Shane. I mean, I did a little stalking of Shane before we met, but I don't know, I just think it'll be really cool for the world to like understand your story, hear your story. You also were in the military.
Yes, for 12 years.
When did you know? Is that like a lame question? Because as a gay man, like I knew I was gay probably when I was like 16, 17, but I kind of always had a thought about guys.
Like most trans people, I grew up pretty poor, so social economics has a big role in like say the decision to make do a medical transition. But culturally speaking, I grew up in an indigenous family, and if you guys don't know what indigenous means, it means Native American, American Indian. I've always been this person. My mom is a lesbian. She served under Don't Ask, Don't Tell. So I got to.
Was she in the military?
She was in the military for 27
Oh
years.
shit.
Yeah. So like my story is a little bit different. So when you guys talk about like when did you know? Well, I've always been this person. Like I grew up in this culture. So it's weird, right? Western concepts. We don't have boxes where I'm from.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
So it was never like an issue, or it was never like a...
No, not until I went to the military. I had a different name.
Okay.
And, you know, legally speaking at that time I was female, but now, you know, I've changed all my legal documentation and I've gone through a medical transition. I started in 2012, and mostly it was due because that's when I had the money to do so. If you guys don't know, trans healthcare is fucking expensive. Beeps.
What is covered with insurance in terms of everything?
So I'm lucky to live in California, and there's a few other states that do cover total healthcare. But so let's say like if you wanted to have chest surgery, I had to pay for chest surgery out of my pocket. So I paid over $22,000 to have chest surgery. So I have this beautiful chest I have now. That's a lot of money. A lot of money, right? Or like
$22,000. So what do people do if they don't have that kind of money?
They try to raise it on their own. They spend years earning it. They ask friends and family, but a lot of people can't afford it. Well, unfortunately, as we know, trans people are really marginalized. The average trans person in the United States only makes $10,000 because not every state has anti-discrimination clauses.
So it's hard to get a job as a trans person.
Yes, and then also too, you don't look like everyone else, so you're even further discriminated. So like, you want to work at Walmart, but you look like a non-passing trans woman, you look very masculine, and you're trying to wear women's clothing and things, you're probably gonna get fired. And there's nothing you can do about it if you live in like Idaho, Missouri, Texas, places like that. There's nothing you can do. So you're already a marginalized person, and then you're discriminated again. And so that whole like people say that sex change regret, that is real. That's a real thing. Like it's indoctrinating, especially for trans women. Like
sex change regret.
Being a man is really important in our society, right? Being a man, being fat, having a penis, being very strong, right? It's what we always say. Be a man. Men should be men. And so when you lose all of that, you're not seen, right? And then you're considered something else or lesser.
So you did something really fascinating in the military for the trans community.
Yes.
What is it that you did?
In 2015, we helped, and I helped a lot by coming out publicly with the repeal of the trans military ban. In 2011, 2012 is when I had worked with a nonprofit organization and also been lobbying in the military for the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. And then in
Did that not happen in 2011?
Yeah, it didn't happen until 2000.
The repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell was not until 2011?
Yeah, so that ban was around for over like 30 years. Also too, if you were found or you're a homosexual, you get kicked out, you get none of your military benefits, no health care. And like you get a bad conduct discharge, that means you can never get another job. Like McDonald's will not hire you with a bad conduct discharge. And that's what they were doing with trans people too. Israel has let trans people and LGBT people serve for 22 years before the United States repealed it in 2015. Yeah, so we slaved, we worked on that for 8 years. I literally had to
Were you like one of the people that were like manning that? You were one of the main people on that.
So like, if honestly,
great.
I had to come out of the closet, and I basically gave up my job in the military in order to do that. So that passed in 2015. It became legal.
Wow, that's amazing. Like you have paved the way for so many people.
I just do my part, okay?
Take away your fucking humbleness for a second and be like, you are one of those icons that have like paved a fucking way for people, and that is so cool. And now you're using your voice, and hopefully you'll be traveling the world with me, other places.
Absolutely.
Using your voice to like expand people's minds, you know? I think what's really interesting is when, I don't think that you being trans or me being gay defines us, right?
No,
it doesn't. It's not something that defines us.
I'm a gay trans man.
I think, even though I do not speak for the cis community or the trans community, I speak for the LGBTQIALN the community, we're all in the same community, right? So like we need the judgment stuff needs to stop, and I think it's becoming educated and aware of it.
Yeah, I think like pride is a radical thing to do. Being queer is radical. Being in a world that says that you're not, you know, valid. And then also too, it's radical to just like embrace all of who you are as a human being. That's our purpose to be here, right? Is to embrace all of who we are. So be radical, be queer as fuck, and stay woke.